Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's December 20th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. Look at all the storms out here, these low-pressure systems, spreading frontal systems towards our region. One every single day, it seems like, and storms get progressively stronger as we go through the period here, and we'll take a look at that in some detail, and the extended forecast as always. So taking a look at things right now, it's actually 53 degrees, nice and balmy there for Seattle. Get out there and enjoy that. 33 at Spokane, some fog is out there as well, and it was 33 and rainy at Stampede Pass. Kind of miserable this morning, still a quarter mile. But yeah, be careful if you do run into some of that fog out there, especially eastern portions, mid 40s, and some light precipitation moving around out there. No big deal. Taking a look at SeaTac, 55. We set a record high back on December 18th of 55. We missed it by 1 degree on the 17th and the 19th. So pretty warm here recently, and we have been adding rain to the bucket, and hopefully we're going to wrap things up and try to get back towards normal or maybe even above. We have a pretty potent system rolling in here at some portions towards the end of December. I'll show you that here in a moment. Now looking at Portland, Oregon, high surf advisory. I would consider this Vancouver Island, Washington, and the Oregon coastline here over the next week or so. A lot of energetic waves coming our way. I'll go into that in some detail here in a moment, but look at this. Breakers 25 to 30 feet starting tomorrow morning, Saturday to 10 p.m. on Monday. Destructive waves. You guys know the drill. Do not turn your back on the ocean. Watch out if you are anywhere near the surf zone. Take a look at hazardous beach conditions. Medford, Oregon calling attention to it as well. So yeah, you guys know the drill. Winter solstice. This is a nice graphic here from Pendleton, Oregon as we go on in through the 21st. Tomorrow we're looking at our shortest day of the year, according to sunlight anyway. And then we slowly start to add daylight to our day, which will be quite nice as we head through January, February, and March and on and through the springtime period coming up there. But if you want to go ahead and pause that and take a look at that for your location, and then you can see by March 20th how much more daylight we have for like Yakima. I mean, you're looking at over 2.5 hours more on the daylight side of things. Now, looking at significant wave height. So we are getting a bit of a break here today. Do not let that fool you, because it's going to come back in force, as you can see, as we go through the day Saturday and Saturday night. And then it just kind of continues on here with just huge wave action up and down our coastlines all the way on in through the 23rd. It remains elevated as we go on in through Christmas Eve, and then additional wave action probably rolling through Christmas night, the day after. And look at this, the 27th, this massive set of waves, energetic stuff rolling towards our coastline. And then maybe we'll get a break as we go towards the end of the year. Who knows about that though? And if I took a look at cross Pacific Ocean, this is maximum individual wave height. That's the highest wave height I've ever seen on the European model since I've been watching the last few years, and 114 feet out across the ocean. Big waves, long fetch, long duration, spreading this energetic stuff towards the Pacific Northwest. So just thought I'd show you guys that. And if we scroll back and forth, you can kind of let this play through and just kind of see how those waves, are going to be interacting with the Pacific Northwest as we go on through the extended period. So yeah, fun stuff there for wave watchers. If we take a look here, same map, Hawaiian Islands bottom center there. Japan is to the left, and then you've got Washington right here. And you see these frontal systems rolling through. They're fairly weak. That one there, and then we get another one tomorrow. But then we start to get some deeper lows towards the coastline a little bit here. This is still well offshore, but it's going to be spreading some more powerful frontal systems our way. And then we get another one on the 23rd. That could bring some gusty winds across the region. And then you notice the axis of this next atmospheric river a little bit set up a little bit better here to bring some heavier precipitation amounts. We got to watch that one as we're going on in through the Christmas and the day after time period there as well. More on that here in a moment. But if we take a look at the 06Z, last night's European run, here goes the frontal system today. It's fairly weak, just some light precipitation there. Mainly the Olympic Mountains, Vancouver Island, and Southwest BC getting the bulk of that. A little bit stronger here as we go through the day Saturday. This snow is mainly across the higher terrain there. We're not looking at anything for Snoqualmie Pass, for example, out of that one. And then we get another frontal system as we head on in towards the 22nd. And then another one comes on the 23rd. And that one could bring some gusty east winds. You see this is a deeper low there, and the pressure gradient setting up across some of the Cascade, especially the Stampede Gas. Looks like Stampede Pass might get pretty windy here as we go through the 23rd. That's another strong frontal system as well. And then we look off towards Christmas, and you can see this one lining up might bring some heavier rain amounts with it as well. So yeah, we're very active here over the next few days. A frontal system almost every single day. And I want to scroll out here and kind of show you the east component. This is Saturday morning, tomorrow morning, some gusty winds out there, Enumclaw and whatnot, those typical locations. Picks up again a bit here Sunday morning, and then as we go on in through the 23rd, look how it really ramps up there as we go towards the evening hours on December 23rd, probably starting sometime in the afternoon. And yeah, some gusty east winds out there. I'll show you some of the gusts there in a moment. But yeah, then we have more storm systems after that. We're not going to worry about that right now too much, one thing at a time. Now looking at accumulated max 10-meter wind gusts. So look at that. That is for the storm on the 23rd. Some pretty potent winds trying to reach out. It's even showing Seattle at 47. That would be out of the east. So you can imagine there's some gusts exceeding 70 miles per hour here across some of the foothills of King County. And you can see down across Pierce County as well. So yeah, we're going to watch that one closely as we go. And these would be the southeasterly direction here across the Strait of Georgia, and some gusty winds up and down the coastline. Now, if we take a look, a wider view of things here at 18,000 feet, you can kind of see the Gulf of Alaska vortex, whatever you want to call it, just pinwheeling these systems back into our region. Then things, straighten out a little bit more, and you bring the more direct axis of that next atmospheric river back into the region there, and then potential additional systems after that as we go through the end of the month. And then maybe some sort of a ridge builds and gives us a little bit of a break as we go towards the end of the year. But who knows on that, and who knows how long that would last for, even if it comes into fruition there. As you can see, again, then you start to set up that classic atmospheric river look back into the Pacific Northwest again, with the ridging across some of the southwest and the troughing here across the Gulf of Alaska with that strong, moist southwest flow into the region. Now, if we look at total precipitation in inches on, this is this morning's GFS. Let me update that because we're going to get more data. This is just total precipitation in inches on the average of all 30 of the GFS ensemble members. So if we scroll on in towards the 24th, there's the 25th. It doesn't look like anything too exceptional. Vancouver Island, hopefully this spreads out enough not to be too much of an issue. But once you start to show up those blues and whatnot and some of these whites, you're looking at 9, 10 plus inches across Vancouver Island. But we are looking out in towards next week. So hopefully that doesn't come too hot and heavy. But we got to start to watch for some flooding concerns if things line up right. Again, more on that here in the upcoming days. Avalanche forecast by zone. You can see we have some moderate and some considerable out there. And the forecast discussion is pretty interesting here. They talked about that stout freezing rain crest that formed on the snow, and it probably helped save the lower elevation snowpack by capping it and allowing it to be protected from some of the soaking rain. But look at some of these snow levels. I mean, this goes all the way in through tonight. Very high snow levels out there. So yeah, kind of some nasty conditions out there, kind of the wet snow if you're going out in the backcountry, so be aware of that. And right now we're still doing okay as far as landslide potential is concerned. Once you get to the right of this line, we'll see how that goes as we continue on through the upcoming month. And there's the 6 to 10 day precipitation above average, no surprise there, and 8 to 14 day as well. And something interesting, this is what's known as the European weeklies. This has 100 ensemble members in it and a control run, and this goes all the way towards February 2nd. So you can see all the individual ensemble runs there. The mean shows about just over 5 inches of snow for Seattle as you get towards early February. How's this for a fantasy forecast here? This is just for entertainment purposes, but the bad news, look at the control run, zero, zip, zilch, nothing for SeaTac in the control run. However, the mean does show up over 5 inches. But again, this really doesn't start to pick up until we get well up into January and February. So no Arctic air in sight right now, but I'm always on the look for it here, and we'll start to break things down and continue to look for that. The only slight sign of it shows up in the GFS, an extended run, which is pretty much worthless. But if we go way out towards, so this is December 26th, day after Christmas, right there, afternoon. And some Arctic air kind of comes down across the Aleutians here and wraps back around across the Gulf of Alaska. This track coming over the open water like that is going to modify, but it could bring a decent frontal system there. You can see some of that Arctic air make its way down across some of northern British Columbia and kind of keep east of the Rocky Mountains and move down across the region there. So that would be some Arctic air for some locations, but this is not any kind of a a big Arctic outbreak or anything, even in Fantasyland and GFS. So there's really nothing doing as far as looking at very cold temperatures off through our 2-week extended forecast so far. But I'm always on the look for it here, and you'll hear about it first right here on this channel if it does start to show. So anyway, I will wrap this video up. Hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.